On this episode of the Globe Sports Corner, we take a look at some spotlight stories throughout Maple Leaf athletics. We learn more about international students on the tennis team and their growing roster for the season. We sit down with interim athletic director Chad Coleman for an interview on his new position. Then we highlight the Everence Financial Student Athlete of the Week and get into the Maple Leaf Minute. All that and more on the Globe Sports Corner. From inside the Globe studios on the campus of Goshen College, my name is Liliana Herrera, and welcome to the Globe Sports Corner. We are only 2 episodes in to this season, but as always, we have a full show of GC Sports, so let's get right into it. First off, we have a few spotlight stories from this last week of GC Athletics. For the women's volleyball team, Sadie Brenneman is one of 3 Goshen women's volleyball players to have 1,000 career digs and 1,000 career kills. She joins the 1,000-1,000 club alongside Anna Herdek from 2006 and Penny Akoya from 2011. Congratulations, Sadie. Now we head into the basketball world with the women's team. The Maple Leafs welcome back Jomani Thomas to the program as the assistant coach and recruiting coordinator for the program. Thomas is one of the most decorated players to come through the program, with 5th all-time in scoring, 3rd in rebounds, 5th in free throws, and 4th in field goals made. She is also the former teammate of head coach Tyra Carver. Welcome back, Jomani. Last but not least, the women's and men's bowling team are competing in their first ever tournament at the Dirty Bird Classic this Saturday. To show our support, the Maple Leaf athletic staff put together a send-off for the bowling team, which will be taking place in the Ruth Gunnan Gymnasium at 4 p.m. today. Good luck to both bowling teams. After the break, we'll take a look at the tennis team and their growing roster of international students. That's coming up on the Globe Sports Corner. Welcome back to the Globe Sports Corner. Let's continue on into the world of Maple Leaf athletics with the tennis team. The Goshen College tennis team has recruited 12 new additions and all are international students. Cormac Kuplikti has the story.
Heading into this fall, Goshen College tennis had only 11 players to its name. Much like other teams, the roster is growing with their 24-25 recruiting class made up of 12 new student athletes. Of those 12 students, every single one was recruited internationally. The impact of this influx of talent has been felt immediately, with senior Ecuadorian Mario Gomez noting that
before we used to hit almost always the same six people. Now it's like 10 different people and we are all like at the same level. If someone gets injured, then someone can replace him, and it's not like, okay, now we downgrade our lineup. No, it's like the same level.
Fellow South American senior Pedro Scatolon from Argentina spoke to the importance of having international leaders within the team to help integrate these new recruits.
Like being a team of so many internationals, both teams, men's and women's, having these leaders being also international makes them feel more comfortable. They know they have someone to speak that they will understand better.
For many international students, it is a struggle to be so far from their families and homes. But Pedro spoke to the ways that they find community around their love for tennis.
I don't have my family here, so my family really becomes the tennis team and the friends that I make here. The space that I would share with my family before, now I have to share it with these amazing people that I'm meeting here. I wouldn't say it's a struggle, but it's a different way of adaptation and experience that we experience.
American sophomore Brandon Lomas noted that being one of only 5 Americans on this GC tennis roster was an adjustment from high school tennis.
It's definitely a crazy change from talking to people who share the same background as me, where I went to school here, and we kind of all came from the same place, I guess. But now, being in college, everybody comes from a different place. You don't really know their background. It's cool to see everybody's perspective on life.
Despite not being an international student, Brandon noted that this sense of community that is felt within this team is not exclusive to just international students.
The team is super close. Getting together outside games or meeting at team dinners at coach's house, the team is so close.
GC Tennis has been off to a red-hot start to the season, and that success on the court has been made possible in large part from their sense of community off the court. Reporting for Globe Sports, this is Cormac Kuplikti.
We love to see the tennis roster grow larger this year, and it's especially great to see more international students become a part of the Goshen College family. Coming up, the interim head of the athletic department has been named. I'll be joined with former assistant AD Chad Coleman as we take a look at his new responsibilities as interim athletic director. All that and more on the Globe Sports Corner. Welcome back to the Globe Sports Corner. Joining me in the studio is interim athletic director for GC is Chad Coleman. Chad, welcome and thank you for joining me today.
Great to be here, thanks.
Let's get right into it. So you were the assistant athletic director, and as of September 12th, you were named interim athletic director until June 30th. But how hard has that transition been going from assistant to the head?
It's actually been, I'd say, maybe a little bit more difficult than I would have expected, because I've been using this analogy of like starting season 2 of a show. You missed season 1, but you can't go back and watch it. You have to have someone, kind of help fill in the details, kind of who the characters are. Mainly due to I was sick the week they started, so I kind of got a late start to begin with. But second of all, I'm kind of learning a lot about things pertaining to the Crossroads League and some of the eligibility and just some of the communications with the league as a whole, and some of these other little things that kind of Erica had been doing, behind the scenes that I wasn't, part of the planning of. So yeah, it's been a challenge.
Of course. And now we kind of know what the head AD looks like from their perspective, but what does that look like for you? What does that new role look like from your perspective?
Sure. So I'm still retaining some of the responsibilities that I had prior to the role, and I'm just kind of tacking on some more responsibilities. And so in order to do that, the whole is, I guess, the position as it was before, some of it has to be pared down a little bit. It's like a quarterback learning a new offense. You get some easy plays. So some of the higher level things, so I'm still reporting to Becky, President Solsfus, but some of the cabinet level things, our VPs are going to help kind of pick up some of the work that athletic directors work within cabinet. So more at a higher level, which is perfect for me because I'm very operations driven. So it allows me to get what I keep saying is kind of boots on the ground within the athletic, and just be able to do more of the day-to-day operations within the department, and be able to have time to build relationships with the coaches and some of the athletes and assistant coaches, just the program as a whole, and then still be somewhat responsible and being able to come to some of these, most of the athletic events that we have at home, at least, where it felt like the position as it was before, it was 3 layers deep, and it was pretty difficult for one person to do. So I feel like it's the structure of it now, I hope, is how it moves forward, frankly.
And you just mentioned how you'll have some of the similar responsibilities that you had as assistant, but what are some of those new responsibilities you mentioned going into the head position? Okay,
so before I was pretty tied into managing the facilities and the use cases, kind of like the landlord, the HOA of how our athletic facilities have been used. But now I'm supervising all 10 coaches and all their programs and all the budgetary stuff that goes along with the athletic department as a whole. So that's part, trying to absorb and learn, and I've been having some meetings scheduled with finance here to get a better sense of what that looks like, and just in terms of being a good steward of our resources for athletics. So those are the big things, is just having all of the coaches now across the board and the whole department, and running those meetings and supervisions with them on a weekly basis.
I mean, lastly, you said when you were named interim that your main focus would to be like fostering relationships with the coaches and the athletic staff. How do you plan to go about that, entering into this new position?
Sure. Well, presence and visibility is one. I told them in a meeting last week that I'm hoping to be at more games than I was as an associate director. They're going to see me. I was kind of like when I used to work in Res Life back in the day, and we spent a lot of time on residence hall floors building relationships with the residents. There's this whole coaches wing that we have, and their doors are open. And I told them I'm going to be stopping by, just popping in for those types of visits. And then their meetings with me one-on-one will be very, very intentional and be scheduled out in advance. So that's something that I think it's been kind of a la carte before, just due to time constraints. But now they know they're going to meet with me on every Monday at 10 o'clock or every other Monday at 10:30. kind of a job between all 10 coaches. So it's going to be a lot of busy work for me, but I'm going to get to know them on a level that I haven't been able to before.
Awesome. And Chad, thank you so much for coming in today, and congratulations on being
thank you
named
very
the
much.
interim head
Yep.
of the assistant director.
Absolutely.
After the break, we will take a look at Everett's Financial Student Athlete of the Week, and we'll hear the rundown of the upcoming sports schedule for the next week with the Maple Leaf Minute. Stick with me. You're watching the Globe Sports Corner. Welcome back to the Globe Sports Corner. It's that time of the show where we take a look at the Everett Student Athlete of the Week. This week, the title goes to Timo Novak of the men's tennis team. Novak had a perfect 6-0 this past week in his matches. He went 3-0 in singles and 3-0 in doubles with teammate Matija Marjetic. Novak is now 5-0 in singles overall this season. Novak has also advanced to the semifinal round of the ITA Regional Tournament at Indiana Wesleyan after beating Grace's 1 singles in straight sets. We want to wish him the best of luck as he continues to compete for GC. Congratulations to Timo for being this week's Everett Student Athlete of the Week. Now let's dive into the upcoming week in Maple Leaf Athletics with your Maple Leaf Minute. We'll turn it over to Cormac Kuplikti. Cormac, give us the scoop for the next week.
Thanks, Lily. Let's dive into the next week of Goshen College athletics. It's a big week here for men's and women's tennis as they wrap up their ITA regional tournament tomorrow, Saturday the 21st at Indiana Wesleyan. Then they have a few days of rest before getting back in action Tuesday, September 24th, as they travel to Huntington University to face the Foresters at 4. Then on the 26th, they host the Grace College Lancers, who sit at 20th in the men's national rankings in a home match. First serve is set for 3. Men's and women's bowling will begin their inaugural season Saturday the 21st as they travel to the Dirty Bird Classic in Jackson, Michigan, hosted by Concordia University. Pins start dropping at 8 a.m. Now we head pitchside as women's soccer plays Saturday the 21st at 11 a.m. at Trine University to face the Trine University Thunder. Then on Wednesday the 25th, they'll invite Huntington to the Goshen College Soccer Complex for their conference opener at 7. For men's soccer, there's just one game this week as they travel to Huntington University on Wednesday the 25th at 7. Women's volleyball is back in action Saturday the 21st as they prepare to take on number 16 Mount Vernon University Cougars at home at 3. Then on Wednesday the 25th, they'll join men's soccer in traveling to Huntington University as they also play at 7. And last but certainly not least, the men's and women's cross-country teams are headed to Missouri on Friday the 27th as they're set to attend the Gans Creek Classic. For a full athletic calendar, scores, updates, and more, visit goleafs.net. That's it for this week's Maple Leaf Minute. Lily, back to you.
Thanks, Cormac. And with that, we are signing off this week's episode of the Globe Sports Corner. For more Globe content, be sure to check us out on the web at globeradio.org and on YouTube at 91.1 The Globe. Check out our socials on Facebook, Instagram, and X, all at 91.1 The Globe. And of course, check out the Globe Radio app so you can stream the Globe wherever you go so you don't miss a beat. We'll be back in 2 weeks for the next episode of the Globe Sports Corner. Until then, for the entire Globe staff, for Cormac Kuplikti, my name is Liliana Herrera. Thanks for watching.